This season we've had a lot of new experiences as Browns fans. We've experienced a lot of winning. We've experienced a lot of injuries. But there's also been some weekends that we've just never had before. Beating the 49ers the way we did. Beating the Ravens the way that you did. You win with all these other quarterbacks. But these last 2 weekends, we've experienced something on a positive note that we haven't got a lot of. And that was weekends that didn't matter. In the past, we had weekends that didn't matter because we were already out of it and we already had clinched a draft pick and other teams were playing for stuff. No. Now, we get to go into a weekend that means nothing because we've already clinched the 5 seed in the wild card. It's sad it's not the AFC North crown. I understand that. But you have a weekend last weekend where you already won. You get to sit back and watch everybody else play. We get a weekend again where I get to sit back. Yes, I will watch the Browns game because I'm a fan, and that's what we do. We'll sit back, watch the AFC South battle, watch the other seeding battle, and know that we get ready for a playoff game in a week's time. It's a joyous occasion and something we've not been able to experience a lot of in this town. So you might be saying, well, Matt, how can you guys do a football Friday this way when the game doesn't matter? You rest assured, we'll still get to all of that. We got James Rapien joining us, our brand new show here at Big Play. Enter the jungle? Inside the jungle? Enter the jungle with James Rapien. So we'll get a look at what the Cincinnati Bengals got. We'll get to our picks for the week. We got a Cavs boost for tonight. And it all encompasses on a Football Friday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. It is a beautiful Friday. I always love getting up with my son in the morning, too, Ryan, because I go, it's Friday, man. It's Friday. I don't know if he quite grasps what Friday is.
What'd you do last night, Matt? Because I feel like we didn't really have much going on. I know we had our Big Play boost, but besides that, no football, no Cavs.
I watched the Blue Jackets. I've been on this plus goal and a half. They won. They straight up won in a shootout, which was great. So I watched the Jackets, and then I tried to stay up for our boost with the Nuggets and the Warriors. Warriors gave them everything they could. Didn't get it done. Didn't cover. I had a side bet, too, on the Nuggets, so thanks for letting me down on that, Jokic. They won, but they just didn't cover on that. But nonetheless, I watched a lot. But tonight, it's fun because you got the Cavs tonight. You get 2 NFL games tomorrow. Browns on Sunday. We'll get to the national championship game on Monday because, of course, in a way, will be the pre-game on Monday for the national championship. So a great weekend of football lined up. And we are going to still do our Friday report card. We have a little twist on it this week with everything going on with the Browns and the Bengals. And again, 9:30 this morning, a half hour away. We'll have James Rapien on. As I've mentioned a few times, we're kind of getting branched out a little bit here at Big Play. So our newest show is Enter the Jungle. Yeah. That and the Bold Bald Breakdown on Tuesdays with Shook and Chico are names that I'll continue to screw up forever. But nonetheless, our newest show, it's all Bengals. So I'll have James on at 9:30 to help promo that and get a look in the inside.
Before he gets on here, it was just so funny, Matt, because he previewed whatever. It comes out on, I believe, Monday nights.
Okay.
And the first words that he said were, well, something along these lines. Well, we're eliminated from the playoffs, so what's next for our Cincinnati Bengals? And it just brought such a smile to my face.
I know.
Like, I couldn't help it.
It is, and that's this game. We know that the Browns are going to be sitting a lot of their starters. Don't know if we'll necessarily get the announcement from Kevin Stefanski today, because we got to remember that for Sunday. There are guys that are going to dress. There are guys that are going to be in uniform. They're going to be on the active roster, but you don't plan on playing them. Or if you do, it's very sparingly. And the Browns are in that position. It's locked in. It's good. Guys that are going to straight up be inactive. Joe Flacco won't play. We know Amari Cooper, I don't even think will suit up for that game. And that's nice because you kind of sit back and relax. The one thing that I have for this game this weekend is that you are still going to have to play somebody, right? You are still going to have to put a team out there on the field. As much as I don't want to, as much as I'd like to just sit everybody, somebody's going to have to play, and that is going to be my nth degree point. We can't have any more injuries. We can't, because there are still going to be either special teamers, like a guy like Ronnie Hickman, which I know it's his Twitter handle. He has rocketed up into a starting role. He's grading out as a PFF darling. He's probably going to have to play in this game. And I don't even want to think about it, but this is a game that as much as you can, as much as you can put these guys in bubble wrap, you're going to have to play them. And that is something that I'm still going to intently watch on Sunday. I'm not watching on Sunday for, is this guy going to step up? Or this game means nothing. And the other thing you got to remember, Kevin Stefanski's not going to show anything. Like, I know Jeff Driscoll's getting the start. Great. And what a stat that would be is if you won a game with 5 different quarterbacks. The Bengals are heavy 7-point favorites in that game. We'll talk to James coming up about it. Is Jamar Chase playing in that game? Have we heard anything? I would imagine not.
I tried to look up who was playing for the Bengals yesterday,
James,
and all it did was just show me who wasn't playing for the Browns.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the Bengals are out of it. There's no they're in a different spot, too, where, again, we'll talk to this with James, like, where's Zach Taylor at in this whole thing? And confidence, they need a win. They need to win bad to finish things out. Browns, I don't care. So you got to remember, the offense is going to be week 2 preseason offense, not showing anything, or even just putting guys, in a tough spot. The other thing is that offensive line. James Hudson's probably going to have to play. That's really where I start. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I was a little nervous. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I'm a little concerned that some of these guys are going to have to play in this game, just with some of the rotten luck the Browns have gotten this year when it comes to injuries. It's not your high-level starters, but there's still going to be starters out there. There's still going to be important guys to your team that have to suit up on Sunday. And I'm a little nervous about it, Ryan. I am. Like, I've been conditioned that way when it comes into a game like this. And I would hope that the Bengals aren't going to be out there trying to take their anger out or cheap shotting, or that they're going to fight hard for a win. That's the other kind of crappy part about it. This isn't necessarily the Steelers and Ravens where the Steelers really need it and the Ravens don't. The Bengals have nothing, but they also want to probably go out on a win, try to feel a little bit better as they get to the offseason. So that is sometimes where you can see injuries, where you see it sometimes when there's a team that's just that much better, but also when there's a team that really is just going to be going through the motions. And Kevin Stefanski's message all week has been, we got to finish this game out, and we're going to have to play. And that's where it is for me for this game. It's nice because I don't care. It is truly nice that I don't care outside of injuries what happens on Sunday. I don't need some statistical thing. I don't need it to be show me this or do that. It's if you can get out of that game with a clean injury report, job and mission accomplished. That's it. I'm not searching for Jeff Driscoll to be my future backup quarterback. I'm not going to talk about Pierre Strong overtaking Nick Chubb as a starting running back on this team. And there are guys, in a way, auditioning for jobs. You hear about that in the NFL all the time. This is truly like a preseason game. The issue is, I think there's a little bit on the Bengals side. They're not playing this out that way in that term of just playing it out. They want to try to go get it done. Browns get out of there clean. That's all I really ask for. Then I'm going to turn my attention to some of the other games that we'll be paying attention to. Now, the interesting part is we could have an idea come Saturday night, because let's not forget, we got 2 games Saturday, Steelers-Ravens, and then your night game is the Texans and the Colts. Texans and the Colts are the one that all Browns fans will keep their eye on, because the winner of that, do they make it? Does the winner of that game instantly make it, or they need to wait to see?
No, winner of that game is going to be in the playoffs.
They're going to make the playoffs as either a wild card or potentially the AFC South, depending on what the Jags do on Sunday, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So there's games to be watched. We're going to post as our Twitter question this morning at Matt Fontana Show. Which team do you want to face in the wild card? That will be set this weekend. Which of the 3 AFC South teams would you want to face? The Colts, the Texans, or the Jacksonville Jaguars. Each present their own challenges, each present their weakness, and I guess we can all just sit back and say, you know what? We beat them all, so happy days are our time. I look at it more about which team do I think is playing the best right now? Which team do I look at and I say, you know what? That's a team I'd like to avoid. Now, the positive is, none of these teams are juggernauts, right? You would have thought it had been Jacksonville. Jacksonville, of all the AFC South teams, hands down, the most disappointing. The most disappointing team of the AFC South. Colts had a resurgence year. Nobody saw this coming with CJ Stroud. It really, I have a lot of, if I was a Jags fan, and I know they still have the playoffs to go and all that, but I'm sitting there saying, what the hell happened to this team? Because you thought this would be an easy 11-12 win team. Trevor Lawrence in the MVP conversation. You got none of that going right now for Jacksonville. So I think they're a little down. That's where I think I look at the Colts and the Texans as a little scarier because they are on the upswing. They are two teams that didn't think they'd be in this position, and that makes them dangerous. I go over to Noah Weiskopf's article. So we had Noah on yesterday. Great stuff. If you missed, you can go back and get the replay. And he posted this on the OBR last night. Who is the best matchup for the Browns in the AFC wildcard? Noah's number one team, the Indianapolis Colts. And he writes, the Colts should be the team the Browns prefer to play most for their playoff game. Obviously, we went to Indianapolis during Week 7. We scored a season high and beat the Colts 39-38 in a thriller. Kareem Hunt punched it in. And now you might be saying, well, why would the Browns want to play a team that they only beat by 1 point and gave up 38? Well, the Browns played that game with P.J. Walker. Joe Flacco is now your quarterback. That is Noah's number one reasoning for the Colts game. And also, the Browns in that game rushed for 150 yards, and the Colts come in 27th when opponent rush yards per game and giving up an average of 127. For the Browns that have struggled running the ball without Nick Chubb, if you can run the ball in addition to what Joe Flacco can do, that's why the Indianapolis Colts are Noah's pick to be the Browns' opponent in the wild card. And he also said defensively, for what we did to Gardner Minshew and forcing turnovers and things like that, of the quarterbacks rank, I mean, a lot of times when you rank teams, you want to just rank their quarterback. Would you agree with me, Ryan, that Gardner Minshew is the quarterback you'd want to face over Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud? I kind of feel that too.
Yeah, Colts hands down is the best answer here to play, I think. And then it is a little bit difficult to pick between the Texans and Jaguars. I would say I would rather play DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud, given that they're both rookies in their respective positions. And then also Doug Peterson, as I mentioned, is a Super Bowl head coach. And then T-Law has playoff experience, won a playoff game last year. So I think that's my order for me, as I said yesterday.
Number 2 for Noah is Jacksonville, and he just kind of circles the wagons around. Trevor Lawrence has been banged up. He's had a bad 4 games. They've been bad. Christian Kirk is not going to be back for this game. At least I don't think. I know they activated his window. I think they're getting him ready for the playoffs. And they have C.J. Beathard to win there, and they beat a game. Okay, fine, whatever, fine. But you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, who's going to play in this game. He's banged up, so that would be your number 2 team. And then number 3 would be the Houston Texans. Yeah, they beat them, but that was not with C.J. Stroud in there. The Texans have also gotten a little healthier. Blake Cashman, talk about Will Anderson. They've been able to get some players back. So I kind of agree with Noah's ranking of the teams that I would want to face. Colts 1, Jacksonville 2, and then number 3 would be the Houston Texans. So again, we post that on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there if you can. Watch the show as always every morning. Which team would you want to face in the wild card? The Jags, Texans, Colts. I think I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. Ryan, you kind of already laid out your ranking there, but please cast your official vote here on the show. This is very official here.
Yeah, Colts, I mean, just given the fact that we beat them with P.J. Walker there, we put up a really big number with P.J. Walker starting. I think if we go back into Lucas Oil Stadium, not only will it kind of be 50-50, almost realistically
that's
a home
another good
game
point. We're
for
on the road.
Browns.
Yeah, that's another good point. We're on the road wherever we go.
So I think that would draw the most Browns fan there, give us the most home-like atmosphere. And then just given that we beat them, we didn't beat them handily. Our defense got gashed, but our defense has traveled on the road pretty recently, pretty well. So I think most people would be in agreement that the team we want to play is the Colts.
I think that's a great X factor that you're talking about. The fact that more Browns fans would probably go to the Colts game than the other ones. And Colts got more holes.
Yeah.
You know, and specifically when I think about that defense, Josh Allen, your pass rusher down there in Jacksonville, Will Anderson in Houston, DeForest Buckner is very good. Don't get me wrong on that. But I don't know if I quite look at that Indianapolis defense and say that they have that guy that puts the fear in like Josh Allen or Will Anderson would. You know what I mean? Like, I like Kwity Paye. He's fine. But, like, when you factor that in, and then let's talk about offensive weapons, right? taking the quarterbacks out of it. Devin Singletary and the running back, Travis Etienne, but then you have Jonathan Taylor. I know Zach Moss has been injured. So those are like conversations to be had. But then I look at the receivers. Nico Collins, who had a good stat padding day against us. Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley versus Pittman and Pierce. And I'm a big Michael Pittman fan. The Colts just keep coming up. The Colts just keep seeming to be the answer in all this. So I like to vote on the Colts. I do.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I'd be there. I really was kind of making the case for Jacksonville. I think maybe guarding myself because in the way I think it might be Jacksonville when it's all said and done.
Oh, yeah, it will be.
It probably will be. But the Colts would be nice. So first off, we need the Colts to win Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then well, we got teams in the blue. You're going to be rooting for the Titans and the Colts.
Go Vrabel.
If that's what you want. Nice little win for Mike Vrabel on the way out. He doesn't like losing. Did you get that message this week? He doesn't like losing. He does not like losing.
I saw, because you know how people are always going to say that they want Vrabel to Columbus. I saw a tweet. It was like,
we'll get to the Ohio State Buckeyes in a little bit.
It was like Vrabel would destroy the Buckeyes beat reporters.
I mean, it's... those coaches that try to take it out of... whatever. The players and coaches, that's all another aside. But... yeah, maybe he'll get that job. I don't know. I think he's staying in the NFL. I don't think he's going to Ohio State this season.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting year for the Buckeyes. We'll get to that coming up. So I talked about Nick Shook earlier. Nick joins Chico every Tuesday for the Bald Bold Breakdown. Every Tuesday, full hour, nothing but the Browns. And I clicked on NFL.com. Nick Shook quarterback rankings. Now, I love how Nick does this. It's strictly on this week of play. As we enter week 18 of the season, who are the best quarterbacks in the NFL 1 through 32? Number 1, Lamar Jackson. Number 2, Dak Prescott. Number 3, Tua Tagovailoa. Number 4, Josh Allen. Number 5, Matt Stafford. Ryan, would you dare guess where Joe Flacco finished in Nick Shook's quarterback rankings?
So this is the quarterback ranking for the entire season?
Just right now. Like right now.
Oh, right now.
Right in this exact moment going into week 18.
Well, it's funny because he's literally playing better than most of those quarterbacks, which is funny. But I'm going to say he put him at 8. 7. Yeah, I believe
Can
it.
you believe that?
He's been playing top 5.
7. And that is like, dude, how insane is that? Can I run through some of the quarterbacks that are behind him? Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Baker, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts.
Rightfully so.
And that's the thing. This is not even a question. Yeah. That 38-year-old Joe Flacco is higher on the quarterback rankings than guys that are paid hundreds of millions of dollars and seen as franchise quarterback. Here's a little shot. He's ahead of all 3 of the AFC South quarterbacks. Like, dude, wow. Is that not a thing? Is that not crazy?
He's playing better than Josh Allen.
Dude,
I know you can't put him up there because of the name.
There's a chance that he's a top 5 quarterback right now.
He is.
Think about that.
This last 4 weeks, the way he's been playing, he 100% is. There's literally no debate.
Of all the craziness, would you have ever thought? Now, if I told you that the Browns had the 7th best quarterback in the NFL at this point in the season, I'm like, sure, we got Deshaun Watson. Go figure, right? No, it's Joe Flacco. Here's Nick's write-up. We all know how improbable Flacco's run of success with the Browns has been. We came down with the bonuses that he's been earning, and he's already climbing into the all-time passing ranks for the Browns. But I'd like to focus on the ability he's displayed in his time with the Brown and Orange, because if you didn't know any better, you'd have no idea that he is 38 years old and wasn't wanted by any NFL organization until the Browns reached a rare level of desperation. Flacco is thriving in Cleveland. He's thrown for 1,600 yards and 3 touchdowns. His 296 and 3 touchdowns in the first half of the Thursday night game felt like a fever dream. While he's likely to throw an interception or 2, the Browns will take the good with the bad. Cleveland's 11-5 and locked up a playoff spot because of Flacco, who's shown incredible arm talent and managing the pressures of playing quarterback with the unbelievable poise that he has while keeping it all up there. There's no question and no telling about how far the Browns can go with Joe Flacco. You know, the other thing is the legs. He looks spry back there. And it's not like he's running RPOs and running for first downs, but he's moving the pocket. And it's been great to see with Joe Flacco. Seventh in the NFL for one Joe Flacco. Isn't that something?
It'll be higher.
Isn't that something? It could be higher. And he's one of the several guys on this list that is not going to play this weekend. But Joe Flacco at 7, that makes you feel good for the playoffs, and we shall see. All right, let's get to our Cavs boost. Let's go. Cavs tonight, taking on the Wizards. Of course, we shellacked them on Wednesday night. We're back. Here's how it works, folks. Get to Tipico. Download the app. If you haven't signed up yet, use the code BIGPLAY100 when you sign up. You deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. I think Cavs money line tonight's probably a fair bet. And you get your winnings, you get your 25 back, you get your winnings, but then you also get $100 in bonus bets to place on whatever you want, and maybe our boost is what you want to roll with. So here's how we do. 3-leg parlay. We will fully admit we're going to go a little safe here.
Yeah.
We got close by 2 points and a 3 from Isaac Okoro. Missed out on a plus 1,000 boost. So we're going to back things down just a little bit. Number 1, I will continue to ride the under. It's, again, 239.5. That's exactly what it was on Wednesday. That only covered by 2 points in a game that you had a lot of scrubs get in there late. And I know NBA scoring is up in general, so a lot of people are on the over. But I like the under again tonight, 239.5. So that is leg number 1. Leg number 2, again, going a little safe here, Donovan Mitchell to score 25 or more points. He should be able to do that. The only fear might be is if we, again, blow them out and he's going to sit down. I don't get that feeling for tonight. Save that clip. I think it'll be a little bit of a closer game, so Donovan should get the minutes to put up his 25 points, no question. And our final one, are we going back to the well again?
Yeah, I mean, it's just 10 rebounds for Jared Allen.
All right, alternate on Jared Allen.
It was like minus 700, so if that's the leg that doesn't hit, then you know I have the ultimate JA curse.
And Ryan will be then removed from all parlays moving in the future. All right, so here we are. A modest 3-legger, Ryan, that came out to what before the boost?
So it's plus 205.
Okay.
So I'm imagining it'll be boosted to around like 260.
That's the whole point of the boost, folks, with Tipico. That's why we love it. They take a regular parlay, they add a little action to it. So we might be hovering around plus 300 for the game tonight. So again, download the app, use that code, BIGPLAY100 when you sign up. 7:30 tip tonight. There's already... Dude, how fast are they? It's already up.
Is it really?
It's already up.
What's it boosted to?
Plus 240.
Okay.
Plus 240. I'm placing my wager on that right now. Boom. Done. In. Right there with Tipico. Can you ever see my phone?
No.
There it is. It's boosted up. Plus 240. Donovan Mitchell, 25 or more. Jared Allen, 10 or more rebounds, and under 239.5. There's also another one for tonight. Donovan Mitchell to make 5 or more threes, and the Cavs win. That is boosted to plus 280.
Oh, I like ours more.
Well, you're shooting like a mad. I do kind of like ours are. And that's 240 versus 280. So we're close in the realm. Cavs shot the lights out of it the other night. So you'd hope to think that that is maybe something positive. I kind of like Max Strus a little bit tonight as well. Dude, not to change the parlay here. You want to know the player I'm thinking of right now? Oh, we can't. Can we get this guy? No, he's not in here.
Sam Merrill?
No.
Craig Porter?
Minivan, George Niang. I don't know why. I'm feeling a George Niang game
That's
tonight.
Dave's favorite player.
I know it is. I know it is. So maybe we'll add some of that coming up. Get signed with our friends at Tipico and use that code BIGPLAY100. All right, James is coming up in 5 minutes. We're going to talk to James Rapine, our newest show here on Big Play, Enter the Jungle, all Bengals. So we'll get to that with James. Is Will Howard really going to take Ohio State to the national championship? Seriously.
Come on.
Dude,
you did not have to have
come
that
on,
pause.
man. Seriously. I'm trying to keep this on the rails, right? I am. Because I sent this tweet, and Ohio's college football fans are a special kind of crazy, okay? And I understand that, and I get it. They are blind, okay? I sent the tweet out yesterday. Congratulations to Ohio State, because they sent a tweet out. They were like, boom, and it was the Tony Stark. Oh my God. It's Will Howard. And I hate this. I hate it because I'm an Ohio State fan and I want to go win national championships and I want to beat Michigan. And is Will Howard better than the quarterbacks that you have in that room right now? Probably. Calm the down, okay?
Hey, he's a big boy. What is
Relax.
he, 6'5",
6'4",
240?
230. He can run, and I got that all day yesterday. You didn't watch Kansas State. You didn't know he was throwing to 2- and 3-star receivers, and they're going to unlock his running potential with Ohio State. Great. Let's calm down. You didn't get Jordan Travis, okay? You didn't get Cam Ward to stay in school. People, Bo Nix and Michael Penix. Dude, you got the 4th best quarterback out of the Big 12 last year. Congratulations. Great job, Ohio State. Well done. Fantastic.
People were loving that he called them the team up north already.
Good. Great. Immerse yourself in the thing. And the sad part is I'm going to root for Will Howard. I want him to be successful because he's a Buckeye now. But can we relax for a second? And these Ohio State fans, they do it with recruiting. They do it now with the transfer portal. That you found gold, right? You found the guy that out of nowhere, he was discarded and we're going to unlock his potential. Okay, fine. I cannot join in this high level of excitement over Will Howard. I just can't. Was he the best option you could have? You want to know what? Let's call it for what it is. We'll keep it a buck right now. He wasn't even the best available quarterback that you could have got. In my opinion, the best guy that you got, he left for the NFL last week, and that was Cam Ward. Yeah, I kind of wanted Malik Murphy, all right? I'd have maybe made the call to Arch Manning to see what he's doing. You got Will Howard. They were nervous. I think they wanted to make this move now before it drug on any further, and Ryan Day needs to save his job. I'm sorry that I can't get over the moon about Will Howard. He's better than Devin Brown, sure. Personally, yeah, I would have rocked it out with Aaron Nolan. I've talked about how much I hate the transfer portal, how it just is perpetuating this cycle over and over again. You're going to have to do it. And maybe we're going to redshirt Aaron Nolan. We need somebody to start a quarterback. You go get Will Howard. He only has a year of eligibility. And he could go win the national championship. And I'll be eating my crow. Well done, please. But I'm sorry that I just can't join on these Ohio State fans that think you found the second coming of Justin Fields. They make it sound like you got Justin Fields out of Georgia when you did. Okay? That's not to this level. It's just not. And if you want to try to believe that, I got nothing for you. This was a desperation move. That's what it smelled like to me. You saw all these other quarterbacks getting snatched up. You knew you couldn't run it back with the guys that you had, and you had to make this move. Okay, fine. Am I saying he's a bad quarterback? No. You could have done a lot worse. Trust me. But I'm also not going to sit here and act like Will Howard showing up in Columbus just guarantees you a berth in the national championship. I'm not there. And I could be proven wrong as the season goes on, and maybe he has all this physical talent that they're going to... Because that's the other part. He could have all the talent in the world. Do we really feel like they're going to unlock it down there in Ohio State? Do we know all the offensive issues that they're having down there with the Buckeyes? The guys that they have lost to the draft in the transfer portal? I'm angry. I'm angry at how the season ended. I am angry about everything. I don't like where Ohio State is at right now. I hate this. I do. And maybe it's just finally our time to hit that rebuild button, and they always say, you don't rebuild, you just reload. Maybe it's time to rebuild. But they're going to try to kick this out for another year. And they'll try to roll it with Will Howard. Okay, fine. Congratulations. Welcome to Cleveland, man. Or Columbus.
I just placed $100 on typical Will Howard.
You did not.
To win Heisman next year.
Get out of here. He'll be a favorite because he's at Ohio State. Dude, do you remember the favorite list when the season started? You know, Caleb Williams. Dude, Kyle McCord, Drew Aller, Blake Corum. They were all up there. And I think Jaden Daniels was up there too. But it's how long of a college season it is. That's how crazy it could be. Am I to the nth degree Ohio State fan like some people? No, but I'm still a fan. And great. Good. You got Will Howard. But
he looks fast. I saw some
he seems like an athletic freak. He does. And let me talk positive for a second. Because instantly people, he was second team all Big 10 or Big 12. He took Kansas State to the championship game, the Big 12 championship game 2 years ago. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. And in reality, that's an okay get for Ohio State. I just can't join the group of people that think this solves your problems. There are people that think Ohio State getting Will Howard has just solved every one of our problems. It hasn't. There is no way at this point of the season or this point of the offseason that you can sit here and say, yeah, we're good. I don't feel any better about Ohio State. And the crappy thing is, I'm not going to feel any better until September. So I got to rock this out for 9 more months of just being upset with Ohio State. And then going into it, like, let me ask you this. Did that take any steam off of Ryan Day? I don't think so. But they got their quarterback. Congratulations. We'll roll it on out. Speaking of quarterbacks, maybe not the quarterback matchup that we all hope for this weekend for the Browns and the Bengals. Let's get a little insight with the Bengals. We bring in James Rapien, our newest show here on Big Play. Enter the Jungle. James, we really appreciate your time as always, man. And I want to say, I know you've gotten a lot of response, but welcome to the Big Play family, man. So excited to see the show up and rocking.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you. You're really, really excited about it. And 2 shows in.
Yeah.
Plenty to go. So really excited.
Tell everybody what it's going to kind of be about when you guys do Mondays, correct? Monday nights?
Tuesday night.
Night.
Curveball your way. Tuesday
go.
at 8 Eastern. And it'll air on Cincinnati Bengals Talk on YouTube and certainly on social media and X. I'm still gonna call it Twitter. X is dumb.
Everybody does.
On Twitter.
Everybody does. I don't think that branding really took off the way Elon wanted, but it's Twitter. So every Tuesday night, all Bengals talk. It's going to be great. James, for this game, the quarterbacks, it's going to be Jeff Driscoll, somebody who I saw this record, by the way, that he's the first quarterback to start in the Ohio Cup for both the Bengals and now the Browns. So record there for young Jeff Driscoll. But Jake Browning for the Bengals, he's obviously had some great games filling in for Joe Burrow, but not the matchup we quite thought. Where is the Bengals mindset for this game? We know out of the playoffs, I guess a draft pick, but I would imagine the Bengals really want to try to get a win just to set up the offseason a little bit and feel good as they get ready for next year.
They do. Now, if they call me and ask for advice, I'd say play all the young guys as much as possible outside of maybe Trey Hendrickson, who has a chance to lead the NFL in sacks this year. But yeah, they certainly want to win this game. And that's been the message since Monday when Zach Taylor talked for the first time following after the post-game initial reaction to Kansas City was the fact that, yeah, we're eliminated. We still want to play our guys and we want to win. And I do get that logic from an in-house perspective. I also think there's something to be said about 3 straight winning seasons for this franchise. And if they win on Sunday, they can do that. Plus, they're 0-5 in the AFC North. And I don't know about you, but I would not want to finish 0-6 in the AFC North.
Wow,
so
I did not know
I think that they plan on winning the game on Sunday, which obviously the Browns couldn't care less about. It's really similar, Matt, to the 2021 game where Case Keenum started for the Browns, the season finale. Baker opts to not play in that game because there's nothing on the line for the Browns. Meanwhile, the Bengals sit Joe Burrow and sit a bunch of guys because they were gearing up for the playoffs.
With that, James, names you mentioned, so Hendrickson, anybody else that you expect, like bona fides, not going to play on Sunday or guys that you think you will? I think it's an interesting point about Trey Hendrickson to try to get that sack title there.
Yeah, there are multiple guys chasing different accolades. In that one with Trey, like even if they had the number 1 seed locked up, I would still try to get him out there because there's only so many times you get the chance to lead the NFL in sacks. No Bengal has done it since it became an official stat in 1982. So I think that's a really big one. Jamar Chase is 4 catches away from 100. Only 2 Bengals players in team history have had 100 receptions in a season. Carl Pickens had 100, so maybe he tries to get to 101. TJ Hushmanzada had 112. He confirmed he will not be in long enough or doesn't plan to get the 17 catches it would take to surpass TJ. But yeah, I think Jamar will play despite dealing with a shoulder injury. Joe Mixon, 77 yards away from 1,000. So I think we'll see a lot of the starters, 1, because they want to win the game, 2, because some of these guys have different numbers that they're chasing. And that doesn't mean they'll force feed it, but if it works throughout the game and it makes sense and they can get close to those numbers or break those numbers, they'll do it. So the Bengals, they want to win this game. And I think they're going to play most of their starters outside of maybe T. Higgins, who's dealing with a hamstring injury, and I'm not sure he would play even if this game did matter.
I don't know why, James. I just pictured like Jamar Chase on nothing but screens, like 17 straight. He just falls down, catches it, falls down, catches it, falls down, and try to get the record there. But yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting that they're still fighting. And I did want to ask you about Zach Taylor because now is as fine as time as any to do it, where a pivotal season for them, it kind of gets the pass with Joe Burrow going down. Where do you think he stands with the organization? I don't think he's going to get fired. I don't think they should fire him, but I would imagine that there's going to be a lot of pressure on him getting into next year. Do you think this game at all matters for the players playing for their head coach as well?
Maybe a little. I think they certainly expect to win, so they would be disappointed if they went into this game. And not that the Browns won't play hard. Heck, that game in 21 was close. It was 21-16 with Brandon Allen at quarterback. So this could be a close game on Sunday. But yeah, I think as far as pressure goes, the fact that Zach Taylor was able to navigate this year, keep them in it up until last week, and more so than probably any team but the Chiefs, the Bengals are as quarterback-centric as any team. That what they put on Joe Burrow, the responsibilities he has. And I said that on Enter the Jungle this week, and some Browns fans saw it, so I'll say it again so more Browns fans can see it. Joe Burrow means more than any quarterback on the Browns roster to the Bengals. He's one of the most valuable players in the league because of what they put on him. So when they lost him, I didn't expect them to go 3-3, potentially 4-3. And so I think Zach Taylor, from a front office standpoint, how ownership views him, I think they're probably impressed with how he was able to navigate this kind of evolve in this offensive evolution with Jake Browning at quarterback. And I do think we'll see some of those things going into next year, but I don't think his seat is hot at all.
James Rapine joining us, newest show here on Big Play, Enter the Jungle every Tuesday night, all Bengals talk. Catch it on all our YouTube channels as well as social media. You mentioned, James, I think that is a good point. Like, the job Zach Taylor has done, I mean, it's a different level of coaching, right? It's a little different when you got to make this flip, and I think he has done a pretty good job kind of navigating that. Joe Burrow, where's he at in the rehab? I mean, obviously, assume everything is kind of going well and he'll be ready to go for next year. And do you believe the Bengals have that mindset? Like, yeah, once we get Joe Burrow back, we're right back to being an AFC contender and a Super Bowl contender as long as Burrow is in there.
I think 50,000-foot view, yes, it is that simple. Now, there's a lot of offseason questions with this team and things that they're going to have to navigate. And I don't think it's as simple as bringing the band back together with franchise tag T. Higgins, re-sign DJ Reader, and try to make another run at it. I think they do have to pivot here. They have to get better in some areas. And that's what's so interesting about this offseason is guys that were such a big part of that Super Bowl run in 2021, they're free agents. DJ Reader is a free agent. He's coming off of a quad injury, a serious quad tendon injury. And so will they re-sign him? Will they not? I'm not sure. He's rehabbing now, underwent surgery last month. Chidobe Awuzie is a veteran. You're probably moving on from him unless he wants a one-year deal. So there's going to be some new faces. There's a big question mark in the defensive tackle room. That's a big reason why Cleveland is where they are right now. They were able to bolster that defensive tackle room this past offseason. And obviously that defense is one of the best in the game. So I think there are things that the Bengals need to improve on and need to make tough decisions about. Tyler Boyd's a free agent. Will he be playing his last game in a Bengals uniform on Sunday? I think that's a very real possibility. So yes, getting Burrow back is going to help a ton. I think the core, for the most part, is still the core, but they do have some decisions to make. And I think the biggest one is T. Higgins. You also have Jonah Williams at right tackle on a contract year as well.
Speaking of the wide receivers, James, is it to a level now where Burrow that they can put a little more on him to say, hey, we might not be able to get you the most top flight guys, and we're going to ask you kind of what the Chiefs maybe have done with Patrick Mahomes. We can't spend this money. You're going to get some mid-level guys that we're going to ask you to make above mid-level guys. I don't want to say like the Tom Brady type of thing where he took a bunch of seventh-round guys and went to Super Bowls. But do you think that's something the Bengals are looking at Joe Burrow saying, hey, you got Jamar Chase. He's not going anywhere. He is elite to the nth degree. But as far as the other guys, you have been doing it without necessarily an elite tight end. And maybe the 2 and 3 receivers are not going to be to the level of T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Do you think that's something that they're going to maybe look to Joe Burrow to pick up some of that slack?
It's not how they're built. Like they're literally built to be a drop back. And this is why the Browns are such a tough matchup for the Bengals when they're healthy. Drop back passing offense. They want to play 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end and 1 running back. And they want to throw it all over the field. And what I think is interesting about this offseason is how much do they look at their personnel combined with what we've seen over the past 6 weeks with Jake Browning and try to add some of that, the play action stuff, the under center aspect of this offense. Because if you're going to do some of those things, well, then to your point, maybe you don't need to pay T $25+ million a year along with Jamar. Maybe you do go look to add a better tight end because you want to play multiple tight ends more than 3 wide receivers. Maybe you are looking at some, I would say 2 wide receiver sets instead of 3 because you have a weapon at tight end. Like I think there are interesting topics there and thoughts of how this offense could evolve moving forward. But as far as Burrow getting the most out of what he has, I think they're confident in that and they're comfortable putting more on his plate. They already put as much on his plate, like I said earlier, as probably any quarterback in the league, including Mahomes, to be quite honest. So moving forward, how do they adjust? How do they evolve? Because I think they realize they can have success. They can make life easier on their offensive line with more the under center game, maybe some play action, some bootleg, some of the easier things for a quarterback that Burrow can obviously do, but he also loves throwing the ball and diagnosing the defense mid-play and all of the things that make him great.
Joe Mixon took the pay cut to come back. Obviously, Dice kind of maybe rolled snake eyes on that. What's his future with the team? Do you think that's something that they'd like to bring him back just for the familiarity? Do they turn things more over to Chase Brown? Do you think Joe Mixon will be a Bengal next year?
I think that's a 50-50. I think it's coin flip. And the reason why is there's a very unknown on how ownership would feel about moving on from Joe Mixon. I think he's really well liked, loved by Mike Brown and company. And he's played reasonably well this year. I think he's done exactly what they asked him to do. I think early on in the season, they were asking him to do too much. It was unrealistic to expect him to play 75% of the snaps like he was on offense. They didn't trust anyone else to touch the ball in that backfield. And then over the past couple of weeks, we've seen Chase Brown and we've seen his potential. I think running back is one of those positions like defensive tackle, like offensive tackle if they can't keep Jonah Williams, that they will address. Tight end is another one that they will address this offseason. So will Joe be back? He could be, very well could be, but I certainly think that they're going to add to that room alongside Chase Brown, and they could add multiple pieces if they do decide to move on from Joe Mixon and use that money elsewhere.
Great stuff, James. Really appreciate it. Not the last time I'll have you on. Enter the Jungle every Tuesday night across all the social media platforms here on Big Play. Welcome to the Big Play family, bro. Enjoy the game this weekend, and I always appreciate the insight. And by the way, for all the Browns fans out there, because I know we all have Bengals fans, I already sent the link to, I have 2 Bengals fans that I know right away. It's my wife's, her friend, or one of her best friends. Her husband and her dad are the 2 biggest Bengals fans I know. So I was like, you need to send this link to Enter the Jungle. It's all Bengals. So I know all the Browns fans out there, you got a Bengals fan. Send them the link to Enter the Jungle every Tuesday, and I really appreciate it, man.
Your wife has good friends.
Yeah.
And real quick, interest in this Browns game, is it next to 0? Because in 2021, I left the game early because I was like, I'm going back to my hotel. I do not need to be here for this game.
Well, so
the
other, yes. And then the other one for me is the last time I was in Cincinnati for a Browns-Bengals game was the game that Freddie Kitchens got fired on the way back.
Yeah.
So like that, it just seems like the Browns, and I know they love doing the division games at the end of the year, but it always seems like it's us and the Bengals at the end of it. And I get in my car after the game. It's like 5 o'clock. They fire Freddie. I literally drove straight from Cincinnati to the studio in Cleveland and was on the air until 1:30 in the morning covering the fact they fired Freddie Kitchens. So on the positive, James, I don't think either one of us have to worry about any of that come Sunday. Like everybody's safe. So we just kind of, this game, my biggest thing for the Browns is just don't get anybody hurt. And I mentioned this, and actually it's a good thing to bring up with you while you're here. I was kind of worried about the fact that the Browns don't care, that they're going to play a lot of their backups, but then there's still going to be guys out there that are still going to play in the wild card game. They can't sit everybody, right? So there's still maybe even going to be some starters or some important special teamers or some important backups. With the injury factor that the Browns have had all year, I'm worried about it. But then you mentioned it, the fact that the Bengals do want to win this game, it's kind of like that little recipe where for me, the only thing I care about is the injury report after the game, and I just need a clean slate from the Browns.
Sure. And I honestly think that Stefanski's game plan in general with Driscoll, it's going to be shorten the game, make this as quick as possible, get in and get out. And let's move on to the playoffs. That would be my logic, and I would be shocked. That's why Trey Hendrickson, that sack record, I'm like, Driscoll might throw it 9 times, and they might all be quick. You might not get to him. So that's an interesting.
I'll pitch to the other side. What a couple of sacks? I'd be like, hey Trey, come get 2 on the first 2 pass. I'll fall down and then just get out of the game. All right, we'll give you 2 sacks on the first 2 passing plays. We'll do a little Olay on the O-line. I don't care what anybody else says. We'll give it to you, and then you go ahead and get out of the game. That'd be my pitch there. I don't know if there'd be any handshake deals there before the game, but there is a little concern for me on that the Bengals want to win this out. For the Browns, we don't get to do that often, just gearing up for a playoff game, but there's a lot of guys that are certainly going to sit. Really appreciate your time. Tuesday night, Enter the Jungle. Check it out with James Rapien. We'll have you on again to the offseason. All right, man?
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
There he goes, James Rapien. I'm super excited about that, man. The growth. James is the best. He's been up here in Cleveland. I knew him when he was up here as well. He's down there. Dude, he's been killing it. He's been killing it in Cincinnati covering the Bengals. They're like us. They love their team down there, so good coverage of the team, which is what James brings to us here on Big Play. You can't beat that, and I really appreciate the hell out of Big Play, man. Ken and Dave, they see the vision of what we're trying to do here. They want to bring the people in that you're going to want to watch. Again, if you're a Bengals fan, I already sent that out to my wife's, like I said, her friend's husband and father are giant Bengals fans. And I was like, dude, here you go. Here's your Bengals. All the coverage you will want every Tuesday night with Enter the Jungle with James Rapien, our newest show right here on Big Play. Do you want to take a break, tell everybody about Tipico, and then we'll get into our NFL picks?
Matt, your world.
Let's do that. Let's catch a break. Tipico, you're not signed up yet. We need to turn things around a little bit here, Ryan.
Have we been bad again?
It's not been good.
Damn.
I am in danger of falling below 500, my friend.
Only one more week.
I can't do that. I cannot do. This is a massive week. I will not finish this season under 500. I refuse to accept it. That being said,
well, how close are you to 500?
I'm only a game above 500.
Oh,
I'm only a game above 500.
Am I safe? Could I possibly go?
You are good. You have a nice little. You are. You're about 10 games above 500.
Oh,
so you're
still,
fine.
okay.
No, you're fine. You have a 7-game lead on me. So in essence, you have 8 games over a 500 is where you're at. But yeah, I got to turn things around a little bit here, and I promise you that I will when we return. NFL picks, Week 18, regular season finale comes your way next. Stay with us. Oh, the pressure is on, Ryan. The pressure is on.
Good luck.
Our final regular season. And we'll do playoffs. We're not done yet, but final full slate of games here for our NFL picks. Brought to you by our friends at Tipico, folks. You're not signed up yet? Use that code BIGPLAY100. You get $100 worth of bonus bets when you deposit and bet $25 as a new customer. Terms and conditions apply. Get a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But we enter the final week, and I am just a game above 500.
Staying alive.
7-8 for me last week. You went 8-7. So we were both around 500 last week.
What happened, Matt?
Well,
We used to go like...
So we both got screwed on the Rams, who won but didn't cover against the Giants. We both lost on Philly. You really need to stop betting the Eagles there. Both lost on Miami. We both lost on Seattle. And then every other one we kind of split on the way out. So really the tough ones for us were Miami, Philly, the Rams. We both lost on the Chargers. Both lost on the Chargers. They were plus 3.5 against the Broncos, and the Broncos smoked them. So as it stands out, I am a 105, 104, and 8. Ryan, you are 112, 97, and 8 on the year, entering our final week. So I would dare say you're going to take the show championship here. But I just got to finish above 500. I will not finish below 500. So we're going to need some savory picks this week as we gear up. 2 Saturday games. We start 4:30 up there at M&T Bank Stadium. The Ravens backups versus the must-win Pittsburgh Steelers to try to make the playoffs. They still need a lot of help. A win is not in for the Steelers. They need a lot of help. It is a 3.5 point spread on the side of the road Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a little shocking to see. So again, I run through some of these trends more on the Baltimore side. That might be a little bit of fool's gold here. But I start with the Steelers, 13-7 against the spread their last 20 games, and they play Baltimore well. Pittsburgh is 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games against the Ravens, 6-1 straight up in their last 7, and the Steelers are 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games at M&T Bank Stadium. Again, Steelers 5-1 against the spread their last 6. Like, all these trends are kind of moot because they don't have Lamar Jackson in there. Over has hit 5 out of their last 6 games at home, 5 out of their last 7 games in general, but under. You want a trend for this game, right? The under has hit all 6 of the last games, 6 last games against the Steelers and the Ravens. And for Pittsburgh, the under has hit 6 out of their last 8 games on the road. So the under, which is set at 34.5 for this game, might be the smart play. Steelers minus 3.5. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. I think it's a must-win game. They're actually playing their starters. I don't think Mason Rudolph's all that much better. But nonetheless, compared to the Ravens' backups, I'll take the Steelers in this one, minus 3.5. Ryan?
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the Steelers, too. These games are so hard. Like, this is a week where, like, I don't feel comfortable at all betting spreads, with all the starters.
Oh, yeah, this is
and
really
stuff.
hard. Yeah.
I guess I'll go with Pittsburgh as well. I don't know really any of the Ravens' backups, so I just can't. I don't know. I can't bet on a team of second stringers.
66% of the public money is on the side of the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry. 66% of the public money is on the Ravens.
Fade Pittsburgh.
I guess maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Late night Saturday, 8 o'clock, Lucas Oil, the game that a lot of Browns fans will have their eyes on. 9-7 each for the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. Win and get in. It is a 1. Can you give me the hook? I got it at 1.5 in a couple of places. Tipico's got it at 1. Can I take the hook? I hate pushes. Will you give me the hook?
Yeah.
All right. 1.5 is the road favorite here for the Houston Texans. Texans are a bit of a conundrum here. This open is Indy being a 2.5 point favorite. Now it's Houston a 1.5 favorite. Do you want to know why, Ryan? 86% of the public money is on the Houston Texans. 86%. That is all because CJ Stroud is back. And CJ Stroud is the linchpin, everything that they need there for the Houston Texans. But can I be honest with you for a second? I think people are sleeping a little bit on the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, they had that shocking loss to Atlanta. Yeah, they got beat by Cincinnati. In their last 5 games, they are 3-2, but they only beat Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and the Vegas Raiders. Lost to Atlanta and Cincinnati. For Houston, the same exact thing. They are 3-2 in their last 5. They beat Tennessee twice and the Denver Broncos. They lost to us and the Jets. I think this is an extremely comparable game. Houston 6-3 straight up in their last 9 games. 7-3 against the spread their last 10 games on the road. Do you know who they don't play well, though? The Indianapolis Colts. Houston 3-8 against the spread their last 11 games against the Colts. 2-8-1 straight up in their last 11 games against Indianapolis. And Houston 4-16 straight up in their last 20 games at Lucas Oil Stadium. You flip it over for the Colts, 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games. Mentioned that they've owned Houston at home. And the Colts, well, this was when they were the favorite. They're not anymore. This is a little outdated here, but the Colts are 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games when they play as the favorite. They open as the favorite. It flipped because of the money. I'll let you go here first here, Ryan, because I really like my play. I feel confident in my play here. Not to sway your decision here, but go ahead.
Hell of a game here. 2 rookie head coaches fighting for a playoff spot. My initial, I wanted to go with the Texans. I think they are a better team, better quarterback. I kind of like D'Amico Ryans a bit more than Shane Steichen. I'm just,
You want my pick?
a win to get in at home is just like the best environment in sports. I'm going to go with the Colts.
Go with the Colts.
Yeah.
Go with the Colts here. And do you want to know why? Yes, CJ Stroud is better than Gardner Minshew. I think that, it's hard for me to say, but it's how I feel. I think the Texans hit the proverbial rookie wall. I do. And that's in general the fact that Stroud got hurt, that they lost Tank Dell. They've not been the same team. The Colts have been kind of the same team. Now, are they a world beater, 14-3 type of team? No. But at least they've been more consistent on who they are and who's been playing. I really like the Colts in this game. I really do. So we're going to go even there. I like your pick there. I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts. All right, we start with our 1 o'clock slate now on Sunday. A very interesting game between the Jets and the Patriots. Not interesting because it means anything from the playoff standpoint. But at home at Gillette Stadium, one final ride for Bill Belichick potentially. We'll see. Patriots are an abysmal 4-12. Jets are 6-10 on the year. Public money on this game is on the side of... Let me find it here for you. Jets. Wait a minute. Where's this game? I don't have this game. Oh, they went out of order of 4 o'clock and then 1 o'clock. Anyway, 72% of public money is on the side of the New England Patriots in this game. I've got the Patriots as a 1.5-point home favorite in this game. You can get it some places at 2. I will start with the Jets. They are 1-8 against the spread. Their last 9 games, 2-7 straight up in their last 9. Jets are 2-10 straight up in their last 12 games on the road. And are you ready for this stat? The Jets are 0-6 against the spread their last 6 games against the Patriots. They are 0-10 straight up in their last 10 games against the Patriots, and that is including an 0-10 mark in their last 10 games at Gillette Stadium. The Jets have not won a game at Gillette Stadium in 10 years. 10 years. This is different because it's Tom Brady's not there anymore. I get it. And this is just a complete crapshoot. 0-10 in their last 10 games at Gillette Stadium for the Jets. For New England, 5-14-1 against the spread. Their last 20 games are only 2-7 straight up in their last 9. And New England is 1-7 straight up in their last 8 games at home. I'll go Patriots. I don't like it. I think it's too much that they're going to try to win one for the Gipper here and win one for Bill Belichick and all that kind of crap. I don't like it. I'll go New England. This is one of my stinky picks of the week. I hate this game. I do. New
Fairy
England.
tales sometimes don't have happy endings,
That's
Matt.
kinda where I'm leaning.
Jets, Jets.
And why, therefore? Honestly, that 0-10 stat makes me feel worse about it. Because you would think it's got to come to an end
Dam's
eventually.
got to break eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. Buccaneers, a win and get in, 8-8. And, oh, wait, here's your silver platter. It's Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. This game is at Bank of America Stadium. A lot of banks sponsor things. Bank of America Stadium down there in Carolina. This is a road 4.5-point spread for the Buccaneers, which I frankly think it should be more. But nonetheless, here we are coming in for this game. Public money to 58% of it is actually on the Carolina Panthers, which is interesting. So we start here, road trends. I'll start with Tampa Bay. Of course, they're coming off that loss to New Orleans, which really kind of hurt them in the playoff standing. That ended a 4-game winning streak for Tampa. For Carolina, they're bad. They've lost 2 straight, got smoked by Jacksonville in that close game against Green Bay. We start with Tampa, 7-3 against the spread their last 10 games. They are 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games. Tampa is 7-1 against the spread their last 8 games on the road. They also own the Panthers. Tampa is 5-2 against the spread their last 7 games against Carolina, and they are 6-1 straight up in their last 7 against Carolina. All bad here for the Panthers. 1-8 straight up in their last 9. They're not covering. 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games. 4-10 against the spread their last 14 games on a Sunday. I'm gonna go Bucks here. I think it should frankly be more, and it might be more by the end of that by kickoff on Sunday there. So I'm gonna take the Bucks minus that 4.5.
Yeah, Panthers just lost 26-0 to CJ Beathard. Baker about to make the playoffs in that awful, god-awful division, but somebody's got to go to the dance. Give me Baker to cover that spread.
Interesting game here at Ford Field for the Lions at 11-5 because they're kind of locked in. From my understanding, like, are they playing Jared Goff in this game? I've not heard much if he's going to play this weekend, right? Like, they were all complaining about the Pro Bowl. The fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't make it is insane. Goff didn't make it. I guess they are sitting a lot of their starters for this game. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. No. Dan Campbell came out earlier this week and said, we're going to use our full arsenal to go win this game. That's the objective here.
Why?
Maybe
that's
they
such a Dan
start.
Campbell thing to say.
Well, and I guarantee you he's still all pissed off about what happened last weekend. Lions are a home 3.5-point favorite. We know Minnesota, they're going to start Jaren Hall again. Or no, they're going back to Nick Mullins, aren't they? They're going back to Nick Mullins this week. Minnesota, 1-5 straight up in their last 6. They are 0-6 against the spread their last 6 games against Detroit, but they win against Detroit. 9-3 straight up in their last 12 against Detroit. Minnesota's only 4-12 straight up, though, in their last 16 games when they play as a dog. For Detroit, 4-1 against the spread their last 5, 13-5 straight up in their last 18, 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games at home. I think I'll go Detroit here, minus that 3.5. I think they might want to prove something to somebody out there. What, I don't know, but I guess I'll take the Lions in this one.
Yeah, this is another case of just stay away because you don't know who the hell's going to be on the field. So I'll just go with you, Matt. I'll pick the Lions.
I got 62% of the public money is on the side of the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll go against the public there and take Detroit. A game that should have impact, could have had impact for the NFC South. It does because New Orleans needs a win to stay paced with who we assume will be a win there for Tampa. It's the Falcons. It's the Saints. Superdome. Falcons eliminated, right?
Yeah.
I think they're out, right? 3-point spread on the side of the home New Orleans squad. It opened at 3.5. It has stayed pretty much there all week. As far as public money goes, 50-50 on this game. A slight little edge to public money over to the Falcons, but it's pretty much 50-50. Falcons are 4-11 against the spread their last 15 games, 3-6 straight up their last 9, but Atlanta is only 2-12 straight up in their last 14 games on the road, and they suck when they play the Saints. Falcons are just 3-9 straight up in their last 12 games against the Saints, but they've covered 4 out of their last 5 games against New Orleans. New Orleans doesn't have much going on either. 4-2 straight up in their last 6 games as the favorite. They are 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games at home on a Sunday. I'll take the Saints here. It's me riding a little bit of my futures bet that I thought they'd win the South. They probably won't, but I'll take the Saints to win this game and cover that 3.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings here, Matt. Somehow the Falcons aren't eliminated yet. So if they beat the Saints and Tampa Bay loses to Carolina
On tiebreakers, they get the division.
On tiebreakers, Atlanta would have the best division record.
Wow. All right. What do you think here?
Saints.
Saints. Okay. Yeah,
I said that for nothing.
That's not. I mean, I appreciate you making sure that we're all correct on that. So it has a lot to play out there on the side of the Atlanta Falcons. Must win for the Jags. They're at Nissan Stadium to take on the Titans. 9-7 for Jacksonville. They win. They get the South. Tennessee 5-11. I think Vrabel's on his way out there. Not much going on for Tennessee. They might have to go to Ryan Tannehill. Did Will Levis get cleared this week? He's all banged up, man. He's all hurt. Let me see here. He returned to practice yesterday as a limited participant. So maybe Levis will play, but nonetheless, Jacksonville gets Trevor Lawrence back. They got to win this game, and they are a road 3.5-point spread in this. It opened at 3.5. It has stayed there. As far as the public money on this game goes, I have it at 86. 86% of the public money is on Tennessee. That can't be right. There's no way that it's that big.
Maybe, like you just said, a farewell win for the skipper.
Maybe they tried just to cover here. I don't know. Jacksonville 1-4 straight up in their last 5. 1-4 against the spread their last 5. But they're good on the road. They're 9-2 against the spread their last 11 games. But the Jags don't play the Titans well. Jacksonville is 4-9 straight up and against the spread their last 13 games against Tennessee. Jacksonville is just 1-8 straight up in their last 9 games on the road against the Titans. You flip it over for Tennessee, 3-8-1 against the spread their last 12, 1-4 straight up their last 5. Mention how much they've owned Jacksonville at home. I'll ride Jacksonville here. I'll take Jacksonville. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't really have. I'm going Jags as well. I'm not betting on the Titans.
Chiefs Chargers we got here at SoFi Stadium, 10-6 for Kansas City. They're already locked in. Chargers are out. This is a 3.5-point home favorite for the Chargers. Chiefs are sitting everybody, so that's why you have the line as you do. As far as public money on this game goes, I have it at... Dude, this ordering, I apologize because I just paused everything to find the public money on this, and it's completely out of order in this. 81% of the public money is still on Kansas City to cover this spread. And this one, again, they're not playing a lot of their starters. I'm not even going to get into trends because it doesn't really matter. You know, what are you going to do against these two bad teams? Chargers 1-7 straight up in their last 8, 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games at home. Kansas City, they've owned the Chargers 16-3 straight up their last 19 games against the Chargers, but only 2-5 against the spread. You got no Mahomes. I don't really know what to do. I'll let you go here first, Ryan. Chargers 3.5-point home favorite.
I'll just go with the. I hate playing this. I guess Chargers.
All right, I'll go LAC too. I should take this more serious to stay above 500, but some of these games, I just have no idea.
It just sucks because you don't know who's playing.
I literally have no idea. Eagles still in it. They need to win the division. They're taking on the Giants up at MetLife Stadium. An opposite flip of the records. 11-5 for the Eagles, 5-11 for the New York Giants. Eagles have just come crashing down to earth. This opened as a 7-point road favorite for Philly. It's down to 5.5 on the side of the Eagles. Public money, 64% of it is on the side of the New York Giants as a home dog in this one. Philly 0-5 against the spread their last 5 games. We know the stretch they've been on, 1-4 straight up, but they've won their last 5 games against the Giants. They've really kind of owned this matchup there. You flip it over for New York. Surprisingly, they're 5-1 against the spread their last 6, but they're only 4-10 straight up in their last 14 games. Giants are 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games at home. I'll take Philly again to cover. I might as well just die on that hill. Philly minus 5.5. Give it to me.
Never betting on Philadelphia again in my life, so give me the Giants.
Giants it is. Broncos, Raiders in a pretty meaningless game for a lot of different reasons. I know the Raiders no, they're done, right?
They're eliminated.
They're eliminated. Broncos are eliminated. 8-8 for them. Russell Wilson will be a participant on a spectator side of things on the sidelines. Raiders going with Aiden O'Connell. This is a 2.5-point home favorite for the Vegas Raiders. Denver 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games, but it's not going to be enough. Do you want a shocking thing about the Denver Broncos? They are 0-7 against the spread. Their last 7 games on the road against the Raiders. They are 0-7 straight up in their last 7 games against the Raiders. And they are 0-5 against the spread their last 5 against the Vegas Raiders. Raiders coming in 6-1-1 against the spread their last 8, but they're only 2-4 straight up in their last 6. As I mentioned, they've owned Denver at home. I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one. I think they get it done. Ryan.
Yeah, give me the Raiders. I honestly, it's so easy to root for a guy like Antonio Pierce. You got to imagine he's got that job locked down next year.
I would think so.
You would hope so, but you never know with Mark Davis and company. But give me the Raiders to cover in this one.
Cowboys, an important game as they travel to Washington, take on the Commanders. They need a win and a little bit of help to potentially win the division. This is our biggest spread of the weekend. It is a massive 13-point spread. Opened at 3. It's to 13. 64% of the public money is on the side of the Dallas Cowboys in this one. Let's see what we got. Dallas just 1-4 against the spread their last 5, but they are 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games. As far as playing Washington, Dallas is 4-1 against the spread and straight up in their last 5 against the Commanders. You flip it over for Washington, just 1-5 against the spread their last 6. They're riding a 7-game losing streak, including 6 straight losses at home. It's a big number. Dude. Should I go with my gut?
Well, it depends. What is your gut telling you?
Dallas.
No.
Okay.
No, because now I don't want to be wrong.
I'll take Dallas.
I prefer. Yeah, because I'm going with the Commanders.
All right, I'll take Dallas. I think they're going to try to shoot. My only fear is that if they get up double digits, do they then sit Dak Prescott? I don't know.
I mean, it's Dallas on the road. Plus
Well,
the Commanders are a team all year that have kind of hung in a lot of games with decent teams.
So here's the other thing. That's a 425 kick there in Washington. Philadelphia, they are they a 1 o'clock kick? No. They're 4 o'clock too. They're 425 too. Because the NFL doesn't want them to play and then for Dallas to know what happened in that game. But I can imagine, dude, they run the scores for other games in the stadiums. So Dallas is going to look up and see where they're at with Philly, knowing that Philly, again, should beat the Giants. My whole point on that is, do they then just pack it in? I don't know. I'll take Dallas. I don't necessarily like it, but it kind of is what. Plus, I guess the other factor too is Ron Rivera. He all but said this week, I'm done. Hey, what's your future as an NFL coach? He goes, we'll cross that bridge next
Old
week.
win for the skipper.
No, I don't.
You said it yourself.
Not for Ron Rivera. For Belichick, maybe. Ron Rivera, I don't know. I'll take Dallas in this one. Rams taking on the 49ers. 2 playoff teams, but again, 2 teams that it really doesn't matter. San Francisco, a 4-point home favorite here, but we expect a lot of their guys, I really think, to get some reps, but eventually sit down. You're not going to see Christian McCaffrey in this game. He's battling an injury. I mean, maybe see Brock Purdy. I don't know. Rams are locked into, so I'm sure they're going to sit a lot of guys in this one. Rams are 5-1 against the spread their last 6, 6-1 straight up in their last 7. We know San Francisco has dominated this. Rams are only 1-7 against the spread their last 8 games against San Francisco, and 1-9 straight up in their last 10 games against the 49ers. You flip it over for San Francisco, and again, a lot of these trends are fluky because these guys might not play, but 4-2 straight up in their last 6, 7-1 straight up in their last 8, and they are an incredible 13-2 straight up in their last 15 games at home. I'll take San Fran in this one. I think even with their backups in there, they can still be pretty good. Ryan?
Give me Rams money line, Matt.
Ooh.
That's my spicy take this week.
I like it. Bears taking on the Packers. A little chance here for the Bears to throw a wrench into things for the Green Bay Packers. They need a win to get in. 425. It's up at Lambeau. A 3-point home favorite here for the Packers. 75% of public money is on the Bears. I don't know if I like that because the Bears are spicy. They're feisty.
They are.
Huh.
Would a good Fields game at Lambeau all but sealed Justin Fields is going to stay a Bear?
He's sealed. I think he's sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered, coming back for the Bears. Let's see what the trends got. Chicago's 5-1 against the spread their last 6. 4-1 straight up in their last 5. But the Bears are only 2-10 straight up in their last 9. And how about this? The Bears are 0-9 in their last 9 games against the Packers. They've not covered in a single one of those games, and they've lost their last 7 games at Lambeau Field. For Green Bay, 5-2 straight up in their last 7. As I mentioned, they have completely dominated the Bears. You want a scary stat for the Packers? They are just 1-4 straight up. Their last, 1-4 against the spread. Their last 5 games when they are playing as a home favorite, which they are here at 3. I'm going to ride Green Bay here. The Bears are covering that game, and I know they are. The Bears are covering that game, and I know they are. Give me the Packers, -3.
I'll just go Bears, so it'll be fun.
Damn it. I like your pick. All right, 2 games to go. Seattle, Arizona, State Farm Stadium down there in Arizona. Seattle on life support. They still have a chance, though. They are a road 3-point favorite here as they take on the resurgence, Kyler Murray and Arizona Cardinals, coming off that massive win against Philly. Seattle just 2-5 straight up in their last 7, but they've owned Arizona. Seattle is 5-1 against the spread and straight up in their last 6 games against the Arizona Cardinals. Seattle 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games when they play down there in Arizona as well. For the Cardinals, just 4-16 straight up in their last 20. As I mentioned, they really haven't played well against Seattle at home. What do I got public money here? About 60-40 on the side of the Arizona Cardinals. I'll take Seattle. Seattle. -3 on the road. Ryan?
I'll take the Cardinals. Differ again.
Kind of can go either way. And then the biggest game of the weekend, Sunday Night Football. They flex it on up. The Buffalo Bills travel to Hard Rock Stadium. They need a win. Dolphins need a win. Division is not set. They're both playoff teams. Technically, I think they will be. Oh, no, because
if
the Bills lose.
If the Bills lose and the Steelers beat the Ravens, the Steelers get in over the Bills, I believe.
Must win for the division no matter what. It is a home game. Miami, the dog. 2.5-point road favorite here for the Buffalo Bills. Public money on this game, Ryan? I've got it. Dude, why is the ordering so out of whack on this right now? 50-50. Buffalo, Miami. Slight little edge over there to Buffalo on the public money, but about 50-50. Let's get to our trends in this one. Buffalo just 3-9 against the spread their last 12. 5-1, though, straight up in their last 6. Buffalo 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games on the road. But, dude, Buffalo is 10-1 straight up in their last 11 games against the Miami Dolphins. For the Dolphins, 13-6 against the spread their last 19 games, 5-2 straight up in their last 7 games, and they are 8-1 straight up in their last 9 games at home. My biggest belief on this game would be, can Josh Allen keep doing this? But then you forget that they can still throw to Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. You flip it over for Miami. They lose Bradley Chubb for this game. They've been battling injuries left and right. You know my feelings on the Bills. I'll take Miami to cover. At that point, you might as well take the money line, but I'll take Miami.
What's the spread?
2.5 for the Bills.
Oh, wow. Give me the Bills.
All right, Bills. Buffalo it is there for Young Ryan. All right, there's our picks for the final one, as we always do on a Friday. Should we get to our Friday report card with a little twist on it this week?
Are you ready to
Let's
do it?
Let's get to the Friday report card.
Alrighty, Matt. Here we go.
Got a little wrinkle here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We're going to flip a coin to see who is the best. Now, we start with quarterbacks. You want to do heads, Browns?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Got to get a good flip. Tails, Jake Browning. In reality, yes, this should be Jake Browning. He's better than Jeff Driscoll. Did you even put the stats up there? God bless you if you did. Did you?
Yeah, they're...
All right, yeah, you know.
No, they're up here.
Yeah,
One second.
that's fine.
Here we go.
I threw it around.
There we are.
You probably go Jake Browning in this.
Yeah, no, you would.
Yeah, that's fine. Next.
Well, so Jeff Driscoll, I did his career stats,
That's
right?
fine.
I figured.
That's fine.
QBR, I mean, it could be worse, 80.5. Not horrible. Completion percentage, 59.2. 14 to 8 touchdown interception ratio, but I believe he's, 1 in 10 in the NFL?
We're guessing. I guess I would lean Jake Browning just because he's actually played this year. He's actually won some games. So we'll lead it there for the Browns, or for the Bengals, excuse me. What do you think Jeff Driscoll's future with the Browns is? I got a pretty strong take on this.
I mean, so assuming he plays decent, I'm assuming they're gonna make him Joe Flacco's backup in the playoffs. Obviously, I don't there's no way you can be confident in PJ Walker. I would imagine he's gonna be the backup over PJ Walker unless somehow he really craps the bed on Sunday. But beyond that, I mean, it just goes. I don't know if there's really a future.
Jack squat nothing.
Yeah,
he got nothing. I mean,
really
they did
no
it
room.
because he's got some familiarity. You get a little bit of a book on him. This means nothing. And again, I like your take. I think he would be your backup for a playoff game over PJ Walker, but it's also the difference in the system. Next year, when you get back into the Deshaun Watson system, neither Jeff Driscoll nor Joe Flacco will fit that. He is just starting this game for the Browns. He'll be your backup, and that'll be it for the story that is Jeff Driscoll. I hope they win this game just because I'd love to be able to say Browns won a game with 5 different quarterbacks for this game, but that's not happening, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I'll give the nod to
All right, fair enough.
Jake
We'll give him
Browning.
Jake Browning it is. Next up,
Well,
this is the only one
Yeah,
we
I
did,
was
folks.
gonna
It's
say-
the only one that you know for a fact.
this one we don't need a coin flip to decide. Kevin Stefanski is a better coach than Zach
Yes,
Taylor.
he is.
About to be a 2-time Coach of the Year. We give it to Kevin Stefanski.
You know, and the thing is, we had James Rapien on. Great stuff with him. Enter the Jungle every Tuesday night. All Bengals talk right here on Big Play. Great stuff. Really excited about that show. But he mentioned about the coaching job that Zach Taylor has done this season. And that's not something to sniff at. That's not something to turn your nose at and say, oh, yeah, no, whatever. He found a way to win when literally the whole team went down. The entire team went down when Joe Burrow got hurt. He's kept it together. They tried to make the playoffs. They won a couple of games here. And I do think they're going to try to play this out really strong and really hard for their head coach. He's not a... Is Zach Taylor a good NFL head coach, Ryan?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I don't either.
I don't either. So, the future of this offseason for him, you know, they're going to look at it and say, we'll give you the pass on this year. I don't think Mike Brown has to come out like Woody Johnson did to give the big thumbs up. I'm sure it would help. But you know, next year, if they start 1-4, they're going to ask for Zach Taylor to be fired.
Yeah.
He is just going to be on the hot seat. That's what it is. And that's the thing. I don't think without a question you could say he's a good NFL head coach. So we give the nod very clear to Kevin Stefanski, and I think this offseason and really next season is going to be a massive one for Zach Taylor. It's going to be a really big year for him.
Alrighty, well, wide receivers. I guess we know Amari Cooper's not playing. We heard that T. Higgins isn't, but Jamar Chase might be in there just to get 4 receptions.
Bengals, yes. No, you're right. Jamar Chase is going to play in this game. I don't want Amari Cooper playing. I don't think Elijah Moore should play in this game.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Dude, I didn't even look at the props. Can I get a Sed Tillman anytime touchdown Sunday?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. When we factor in the tight ends, again, Njoku's not going to play. I would actually give the nod to the Browns tight ends with Jordan Akins and Harrison Bryant. That is one thing, and maybe it's the Tyler Eifert of the years past. Bengals would be really interesting if they had a really good tight end. You know what I mean? And Tanner Hudson, they let CJ Uzama leave. They have Drew Sample, Irv Smith Jr. I'd be watching them as a team to go sneak and get a tight end somehow, somewhere.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Could you imagine if they traded up to get Brock Bowers?
That'd be insane. I think they need help on the offensive line, which we'll get to here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, a guy like that could really help out Joe Burrow. And especially if you're not going to pay Boyd or T. Higgins, which I don't think they are, and you're going to leave, a tight end would be a guy to pick up some of that stuff. Like, what? Okay, let me ask you this question. If you have an elite quarterback, take that out of it. Would you rather have your ordering of pass catchers be wide receiver, tight end, or wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver?
Say that for me one more time.
Okay, so if you have an elite quarterback,
right,
would you want your best pass catchers to go wide receiver, then tight end, or wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver? I guess the question is, would you want your second best pass catcher to be a tight end or a wide receiver? I kind of think I'd be a tight end. Would it not?
Yeah,
I mean, you look at teams like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, very, very good. You look at what the Bengals have done. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, in addition to Jamar Chase. But I look at some teams that have evolved of their tight end being their second best pass catcher, namely the Cleveland Browns.
No,
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's teams like that. The Browns, the Lions, they were second best.
Very much so, yes. Sam Laporta, yeah.
I mean, you could even make an argument for Minnesota that T.J. Hawkins
kind
over
of
Jordan
Kittle,
Addison,
kind of Kittle, but you got Debo, to go with Ayuk. Yeah,
I don't know. It depends. Like, is this a tight end that is going to be in the trenches blocking, like Kittle, for example?
Kittle's very
such a good blocker. Like, he's probably the best blocking tight end in the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I would have to know who the person is and their skill set.
I would just say Cincinnati getting a tight end, I think, would be top notch. But
yeah, would be.
Again, for where we're at, we're going to give the edge to the Bengals there. Next up, running back.
Flip it.
Heads Browns, but it's really Joe Mixon. He's going to play. James said he's going to play in this game. I think he's going to play. So it'll be Pierre Strong. I mean, I think Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford will be suited up for this game, but I don't think they'll play. The issue for the Browns, which is another thing that we've discussed a little bit this week, they only get so many elevations, and they only have Pierre Strong on the active roster. So what are they going to do? And we didn't even talk about Dalvin Cook signing with the Ravens this morning, but
I can see it.
I could see that too. So the issue is, and I got to look at the Browns practice squad because they got rid of. Did John Kelly come back?
No,
he's not. All right, let me scroll down. But the whole point is, you're also going to have to elevate your specialists for this game, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because they're on the squad. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe. Do we know Corey's out? Sure.
Oh no, John Kelly and the Browns, he can't die with the Cleveland Browns. He's always finding his way back to the Cleveland Browns. He's still there. So you might have to elevate him just to take some carries.
Is Bjork has already rolled out?
I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure that you're not going to get Dustin Hopkins.
You're not.
So you're going to have to elevate Riley Patterson.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You're going to have to do that. So you only get one other spot. It might have to be John Kelly. Or, I mean, do you say to Kareem Hunt, sorry, man, you're going to have to carry the rock a little bit in this game? I kind of want Jerome Ford. If you had to sit one, Jerome Ford or Kareem Hunt, it's Jerome Ford, right? Right? Kareem's a little older.
No, yes. Yeah.
Pierre Strong is going to get 25 carries in this game. But you're going to have to suit those guys up because you're going to need somebody in case. But get ready for Pierre Strong. Other than that, we talked to James Rapine. We assume Joe Mixon will play in this game. So we'll give the edge to the Bengals, even though the coin to the Browns. That's fine.
Yeah, offensive line. I mean,
you'd imagine a lot of the starters are going to be in there. I'll give it to the Bengals. Bad flip.
It's like
I'd get thrown out of the NFL.
You're like Harvey Dent.
Yeah. Bengals. Do you know what my ball marker is for when I play golf? It's a two-face coin.
Is it?
I got one custom made. I like it. It's very nice. I like it. Yeah, I mean, for them, Brown, Volson, Ted Karras, Alex Capigione, Williams. Here's the thing about the Bengals. That has been their sore spot. And they've invested all this money, and they've tried to get it to work, and you still have not really been able to help Joe Burrow. They paid all that money to Orlando Brown, it seems right. Yes, Jonah Williams seems like he's going to walk out of there and not get the money that he thought. He'll go somewhere in free agency. For the Browns, I would imagine, because this is the other scary thing, man, that I hate. You imagine that Jaron Christian is going to play in this game. You imagine James Hudson's going to play. But I'm getting Postic out of there. Give Luke Whippler all your starts.
Get Batonio out of there.
Get Batonio and Teller out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll give it to the Bengals in this, but, it remains to be seen who will play.
Defense, I mean, realistically, it's still going to be the Browns. But like we said, the only real guys that we really know for sure aren't, I guess we don't know anything for sure, but is your Myles Garrett, is your Denzel Ward.
Bengals, a lot of tails for the Bengals.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, same thing. You assume Trey Hendrickson's going to play in this game to try to get that sack total. They've had a lot of injuries in that secondary, too. But even with the Browns' backups, you'd still maybe lean to the Browns just a little bit. Yeah. Myles Garrett's not going to play. I don't think Denzel Ward's going to play. I'll be shocked if, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah plays in this game. You kind of fit it out. Then for special teams, I mean, Evan McPherson is... Dude, think about the kickers in our division.
Yeah.
Best kicking division in football.
Yeah, I mean, his rookie year was one of the best we've seen.
So you give the edge there to the Browns still on defensively just because they've been so good. But really, the Bengals don't have much going on the defensive side of things as well. So we give a lot of nods to the Bengals. The scary thing, and I'll continue to say this, is that I think the Bengals are going to try to win this game. And I hate that. I would wish this to be a meaningless game for both of them because I think they're going to try to play things out and try to get a win. I was going to do this later, but let's do it right now. Future for the Cincinnati Bengals. Want to talk about that for a second? Are they a team in the future power rankings of the AFC North? How afraid are you of the Bengals? Because Joe Burrow might be the best quarterback in this division. And that's saying something about Lamar Jackson who's going to win his second MVP. Joe Burrow doesn't have that yet. But I also look at the Bengals and say sometimes they get in their own, this division is going to be so good. This division is going to be so good for the next 5 years. And it's because 3 of the 4 teams have stable quarterback play. Do you want to know my call out here for the Steelers this offseason? They're going to go get a quarterback. I think the Steelers this offseason are going to go to a veteran guy, right? So then you look at the health of this division. Burrow will be back. Lamar, you assume, Deshaun Watson will be back. And the Bengals are a team that I look at, and I still feel like the division is going to run through them. I don't know why. And the thing is, the Browns have the better defense. I think we're equal in some parts on the offense. And I also look at what the Ravens have done. And I continue to crap on the Ravens because I hate them. But it is so much I said to the Ravens, how the hell are they doing that? They don't have these star players. I mean, Kyle Hamilton's a star. They got to go. But the Baltimore Ravens are the one team I just go, how do they keep doing that? And it's because that's how special Lamar Jackson is. That's how good he is. And he means everything to that team. But as we talked about James Rapien earlier, that is also how much Joe Burrow means to his team. And everything is set up for Joe Burrow. So I see a path that the division actually could run through the Browns. It's crazy for me to say, they seem like a little bit of a less of a head case. Where the Bengals and the Ravens, I mean, I guess I could say the same thing, dude. You lose your quarterback, you go win the games like the Browns. This division is so up for grabs. It is so up for grabs. So when I talk about the future for where the Bengals are at, you put the stock, if you're a Cincinnati fan, into we'll just get Joe Burrow back and we'll be just fine. The Browns, you feel good about where you're at anyway. The Ravens feel really good about where they're at. The thing for the Bengals that might derail it is if they go fire Zach Taylor early next year. They're not going to fire him this offseason. But if he gets off to a slow start, Ryan, he's going to be on the hot seat. There's going to be a lot of people that are already calling for Zach Taylor's job. You got your franchise guy. That's it. What pieces are you going to put around him? And the same thing for the future with the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a lot of contracts that they got to decide. Yeah. They have a lot of important players on their team that are not under contract. What are they going to do? It's crazy. Unlike the Browns and the Ravens, who I feel more confident in saying they have a steady future. I feel like the future is very bright for the Browns. I feel like the future is bright for the Ravens, and it's steady. I look at the Bengals and say, there's a world that they're the best team in this division. Bro, there's a world that it completely implodes for Cincinnati, and they suck, even with Joe Burrow, because they have more moving pieces. Bring the owner into it.
They have to pay.
They got to pay, man.
We just talked to James Rapine, right?
Yeah.
They have to pay Joe Mixon. We don't even know if he's going to be there next year.
Pay Joe Mixon.
They're not going to. I'd be surprised, honestly, if they paid T. Higgins. Then you look at it. Tyler Boyd needs another contract. A guy who's been there.
Gone.
A guy who's I agree. A guy who's been there for
Gone.
7 years. Who's like top 5 or 10 in receptions in that franchise. In their history.
Well, then they let a guy like Jesse Bates walk down to Atlanta. He had an amazing season. They filled it in kind of on that defensive backfield.
Jonah Williams probably going to be gone. Get paid somewhere else.
Like, they are really on a precipice. I could see them going either way. And again, Joe Burrow is elite. Joe Burrow is very good. But when you factor in the fact that their ownership group is not like the Browns, and they don't have the money. And you want to know the biggest factor of having an owner that doesn't spend cash? You can't restructure these deals. You don't. I think some people understand this, but some don't. When you see all of these restructures, and we have Jack Duffin on from OBR, and he does a great job with all this other kind of stuff. When we talk about restructures, it's not that money disappears. You have to pay that money eventually on the cap. But what you are doing is pushing it down the road and stretching it out over years to come. What do you need? You need an owner that's willing to cut checks at that moment, because when you restructure, those players get the money right then and there. If you have an owner that doesn't have money offhand, or you got an owner that's got to sell out the naming rights to the stadium, and also they need a new practice facility down there in Cincinnati.
Dude, I went to their NFL draft, not combine, whatever you want, the pro day.
Okay,
I went to
Cincinnati's pro day?
The Bearcats pro day, and they had it in that indoor facility. I mean, dude, come on, it's a bubble.
It's terrible.
It's a bubble.
It's awful.
It's probably I can't even.
Everybody tells you that they have the worst facility.
I don't know how
in
it's
football.
an NFL. Like, I'm not saying
the stadium is.
Colleges have better.
Sucks.
Like, it's crazy, and it's right by the highway. I mean, it's like gravel parking. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I know. I remember with it. So like, you factor all that in. With watching this game on Sunday, and we've talked about this all day today, this game means more to Cincinnati because I think they want to win on the way out for Zach Taylor. They want to try to help things out for him a little bit. His job's not necessarily in jeopardy, but it's a little bit of a hot seat. But everything else surrounding Cincinnati, they got a lot of questions. For the Ravens, their question will always be, can Lamar keep doing this, right? Can he keep being this elite MVP level? And by the way, what does he keep doing answering that question? Yes, he can keep doing it. They're a scary team if they get a couple of players, and I think they've, continue to try to do that. Then you get to the Browns. And what do we feel about the future, right? We feel, dude, this defense can take us a lot of places. The vast majority of guys on that defense are paid up. Think about this. Delpit, back. Miles, back. Denzel Ward, back. MJ Emerson, back. You got Greg Newsome for at least next year. JOK, good. Next year here. Dalvin Tomlinson paid. Who are you going to lose? Maybe Shelby Harris. Maybe Za'Darius Smith. Obo Okoronkwo paid up. All those guys are returning. Offensively, Cooper is back. Njoku paid. You're going to get Nick Chubb off the injury. Like, it's the opposite of kind of where Cincinnati is at. And I know that it's a tower of cards. It could all come falling down like it almost did this year when you lose your quarterback. But then also, say what you want about Deshaun Watson, you're adding him back into the mix. Yeah. People forget, dude, he was 5-1 this year.
You don't see Kareem Hunt in a Browns uniform next year, do you?
I'd like to, but no.
I don't think so either.
Because you're going to have Nick Chubb, you're going to have Jerome Ford.
Right, exactly.
Oh, boy. Do you want to know what just right in my head? You trade Jerome Ford this offseason.
No.
Yes.
No.
He's your Bearcat, baby. I know that.
No.
His stock will never be higher, and you're not going to need him.
Whoa. Chill.
Okay, his stock is very high. I shouldn't say never be higher. His stock is he's not going to play. He was a 1,000-yard rusher this year, basically.
Okay.
And I know, you'd scream, why the hell would you trade him away? You got Nick Chubb coming back.
And I want to live in a world where Nick Chubb is a top 5 running back for the next 5 years.
And I think that'll happen. But, and somebody might scream too, what if Nick Chubb gets hurt again? The smart money move would be, not money because he's on a rookie deal, but would you get a 3rd-round pick for Jerome Ford? I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much sauce on it. But I think if I could get in a year that you are going to be short on picks, and the worst part of all of it is what? What's the worst part of the conversation we're having at this exact moment?
Okay, but
what position do they play? That's it.
I understand.
Running backs.
No, I get it. It's the most
right,
interchangeable.
Right, that,
Okay,
right.
okay, but let's say okay.
But do you see where I'm coming
No,
from
I
on
do.
Ford?
I
It's like this stock is massive right now, and you might come back and say yes.
Maybe if
we
I
want
know
to
Nick
run the
Chubb,
ball
maybe
next
if I know
year.
Nick Chubb comes back 100% healthy.
And I'm
But
projecting
then
that
if
he's
you
going to
do
be
that,
okay.
you're out Kareem Hunt, you're out Jerome Ford. Your next best back is who? Pierce Strong.
But in an offense that you're supposed to be going to be throwing it with Sean Watson anyway.
Sure, but what if Nick Chubb? We've had a lack of contingency
listen,
plan.
I'm not asking for them to trade Jerome Ford this. I'm not asking for it. It's just a conversation that I would have.
Anybody that comes from here.
And they're good. They're good in your mind. And I like Jerome Ford. I think he's been, dude, Andrew Berry, while, again, there's been some questions on some moves and stuff like that, he continues to just check boxes, man. You found Ronnie Hickman. You found Jerome Ford. You found DeJuan Jones. I mean, it's just bing, 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 bing down the line. And I'm not saying that that's going to be, but the Browns are so, it's so great to say, the Browns are so stacked. They are so stacked at multiple positions that are locked up. I can't say that about Cincinnati. They have a lot of questions. Baltimore is pretty stable, and then there's the Pittsburgh Steelers. This offseason, I would love nothing more than to bury the Pittsburgh Steelers and for them just to be bad for the next 3 to 5 years. You, me, and everybody knows that's not happening, right? They to a point are just a quarterback away.
Yeah.
Najee Harris, who I know people have got on, Jalen Warren, I think Pickens is going to be very good. Freiermuth, they need to help that offensive line a little bit more. And that defense is still damn good. That defense is still really, really good. I'm telling you, keep them away from Kirk Cousins. And I'm not a big Kirk Cousins guy. I think he's a little overrated, and all he does is stick it to me. I get it. You keep them away from him. Because that would be something that would just then vault them back into this conversation. Like, we started on this talking about the Browns and the Bengals this weekend, and this game doesn't mean very much. We're talking about the futures and kind of where we lead from there. This division is going to be it already is. It's the best division in football. You can make no question about that. Even though there's going to be some other divisions that get more playoff teams, the fact that you are entering the final week where you have a look at all 3 teams making it, at least 2, in a world that if Joe Burrow was playing, you would have had 3 that would have made it. It could flip on it. I mean, I'm not saying flip on its head, but there are really only 2 teams that I look at in the North right now that have a solid, solidified, bona fide future. That's the Browns and the Ravens. I think the Bengals are teetering, and the Steelers, as long as they don't get a quarterback, as long as they stay away from finding a quarterback, I think we're gonna be all right, and they're gonna be down there in the bottom. But this thing is just one move, man. Just takes one move for them.
Yeah, I mean, Bengals they're in a really tight window in terms of how long they can keep their talent and take that talent to go win it all. And then you look at the Steelers. Yeah, they are really just a quarterback away. They need another DB and another couple more pieces, but they are still kind of right there as they always are. But I want to know what they're going to do with Mike Tomlin, because the second longest tenured head coach.
They'll bring him back.
Okay,
not this year. They won't fire him this year. And I know a lot of people out there watching, you might have Steelers fans, or like, is there so much overlap? You ask any average Steelers fan and they hate Mike Tomlin. And I don't know why.
Maybe he's been there for 17 years.
It's been there
now.
so long, and you would say, okay, when's the last time they went to a Super Bowl? Like, I think that's where they're coming from. It's a little bit of the Marty Schottenheimer when he's with the Chargers. You can make the playoffs every year, be the 1 seed, 2 seed, but if you're not going to the Super Bowl and winning it, it doesn't matter very much. The thing is that they never really did fully address properly the quarterback position post-Roethlisberger. Even when Roethlisberger was in there in the shell of himself, they missed on Kenny Pickett. That seems to be pretty obvious and clear. They're also a team that maybe it's just because of recency bias with Kenny Pickett. I don't know if I trust them to develop a quarterback either. So they'd be better off just going to find a guy for 3 or 4 years. Go get Russell Wilson. Watch that happen. Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't know. Like, there might be a veteran guy out there to make that push for a couple of years, and that would certainly hurt things for the Browns of where we want. I want the Steelers to be dead and buried, but they're not going to fire Tomlin this offseason. He's pretty good, or at least for this year. Kind of where they take it from there, like going into next year. And there's a world that maybe Tomlin says, I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of everybody calling it out. Because he'd go find another job in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I think any other team would jump at the opportunity to hire Mike Tomlin.
Absolutely.
But I think he's pretty solid. And then John Harbaugh is still one of the best in the business. The health of the division is strong, which sucks. Like I've said this before, the Browns got really good at a time that the AFC is a complete gauntlet, and your division is the best maybe that it's been in 20 years. That's a tough way to go. And you got all these teams that we'll see this weekend, too, playing it out in the AFC, which is tough. Let's visit our Twitter question this morning. We're up at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there if you can.
I was kind of shocked, Matt.
What's that?
The
the
results.
Yeah. Which team, because we know it'll play out this weekend, which team would you want the Browns to play in the wild card round? Jags, Texans, or Colts? 56% of people say the Jags.
I don't
40% Colts, only 5% the Texans.
Like I'll listen to the argument, but
ooh, I like where Matt takes this. Fan noise is not an issue in Jacksonville as much as it is Indy and Houston. Houston will be tricky because Stroud is back. I just saw this list. They just put out the 10 noisiest stadiums in the NFL. Did you see that list?
But I don't know if you can factor that into this because Indy's a pretty quick drive from Cleveland.
I think that there will be a lot of Browns fans there too.
Oh my God, it'll be half and half.
About half and half.
It very well might be a playoff game.
Loudest stadiums: Kansas City 1, Lumen Field 2, Superdome 3, State Farm Stadium for the Arizona Cardinals 4, Lambeau 5, USA Bank 6, Gillette 7, M&T Bank 8, Lincoln Financial 9, Acrisure Stadium Pittsburgh 10. That's not the list I saw. I swear to God, I saw Lucas Oil on it somewhere.
Even if it was, though, that'd be cool with that.
Well, and like you said, I'm assuming there'll be a little bit more Browns fans there. On the quarterback ranking, that's actually kind of flipped for me, where Trevor Lawrence is the one guy I don't want to face. Shoulder injury, sure. We both voted the Colts on this. When you talk about Gardner Minshew, with how you played that game out against them a while ago, and they're the team that you saw the furthest ago. That helps the Browns. You want to know why? The Browns are more different now than they were when they faced the Colts. The Jags and the Texans, more recently, you got a little dose of who the Browns are. You got a little dose with Joe Flacco.
Exactly.
You go with the Colts. They didn't see Joe Flacco. They saw P.J. Walker. You saw a completely different team. And the Browns are also a much better team than they were. Now, they've ascended and got better even when we played the Jags, even when we played the Texans, all that kind of stuff. The Colts are the answer. Do you want to know what, though, Ryan? The Colts are the longest shot. Are they not? Would you say for the team that we'll face, the team to win the AFC South, would you not say the Colts are the longest shot?
Yeah, I mean, because Jacksonville is more than likely going to beat Tennessee, right? And then I would argue, and we just went over the spread, is that even at home, the Texans are favored over the Colts.
Another Matt. A lot of Matts in the Twitter inbox. I think the Browns have a better game plan for Minshew the second time. Jags will have I don't think Christian Kirk's playing in this game. I know they opened his window, but I think they're just getting him ready for the playoffs, assuming that they're going to go.
Yeah, they won't need him.
Steve tweets, we can beat the Jags again if we don't turn it over this time, although they'll be better prepared against our offense. Close game, score late, get the onside kick on to round 2. I like it. Nuke on Twitter, rookie quarterback in the playoffs versus a seasoned playoff vet in Flacco. Give me the Texans. Playoffs are a different world for rookie quarterbacks, even Stroud, who's a stud. I said this. I think the Texans hit a rookie wall. Not just because they have a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. They look like a team that's kind of run out of gas a little bit.
I mean, their best player on offense and defense are both rookies in Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud. Well, you can argue Derek Stingley's pretty good.
Yeah.
But at least one of their best defensive players is a rookie in Will Anderson, who we didn't get to see against Cleveland, but he'll be back there.
Well, and they got to rest, and they certainly got that little bit of a test, too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with. Who said that?
That was... Sorry. Back in the Twitter inbox we go.
Nuke something?
Nuke. I'll give it to Nuke. I think it was Nuke on that.
I agree with Nuke.
All right, this time of the show, we normally go through our keys to the game for Sunday. There is only one key. It's the only thing I give a damn about. Do not get hurt. Don't do it. You are going to have to play some starting level guys in this game. I don't know the list. I can run through some names that I guess maybe, and I don't even know if we'll necessarily get that list from Kevin Stefanski later today. You are going to get the inactives on Sunday morning. You will run through guys that are in uniform, but we know truly will not play in that game. Do not get hurt. And I don't even care if it's, Mike Adams, or Matthew Adams, Matthew Adams, the back, Mike Ford, all these guys that are third and fourth on the depth chart, but they are important special teams pieces. I want to get out of this game with the training room being empty for the Cleveland Browns. I don't want anybody to go in that MRI room. I don't want anybody to go get x-rays. I need to get out of this game clean. And I thought James Rapine brought up a great point also earlier. How the Browns approach this. They are, not going to show anything on offense. They're going to run the most vanilla type of offense with Jeff Driscoll. You're not letting any of your opponents for next week get anything figured out. But also, the least amount of plays. Dude, I would tell my players to stay in bounds. Run that clock. I want like 40 plays. That's it. Normally you run 60 or something like that. I want the least amount of plays. I want to drain the play clock down. All of that kind of stuff to get the least amount. I mean, this is a game too, like, in never a world you could do canceling a game. Let the Bengals run it up. I don't even care. Let Joe Burrow. Let Trey Hendrickson and Jamar Chase get all their stats. Let Joe Mixon get his 1,000 yard. That's fine. Let him do it. Nothing for the Cleveland Browns. That's it for me. I mean, other than that, okay. I assume Dustin Hopkins will be back. But maybe one other key. I'd like to see Riley Patterson hit some kicks.
Yeah.
If you're going to need him, which we are all just kind of playing the game that we assume that Hopkins will be back, but it'd still be nice to have at least an option with Riley Patterson to make some kicks. So that's pretty much it for me. Any other keys for you, Ryan? It's health and injuries for me. That's it, number one.
No, it's just get out of that game healthy. Yeah, sure, I would like to win. I mean, well, there's kind of interesting thing, right? Because Kevin Stefanski would then get 12 wins, which would be just vault him
12
into the
wins,
records. But,
fifth with another quarterback.
And that's all fun and games.
Yeah.
That's all fun and games. But realistically, nobody cares. That's not what matters at all. So just get out of the game healthy.
Game I care very much tonight. Cavs, Wizards. Let's get to our boost on Tipico, folks. Can you pull that back up for the fine people? There it is. There it is, Ryan. We do our boost every single day. And here it is. Tonight, Cavs, Wizards, 3-leg parlay that is boosted on up for us. We start, number one, I'm riding the under again. I did it on Wednesday night. They only hit on the over by 2. So I'm going to take that again for tonight, under that 239.5. Number two, modest. Jared Allen, 10 rebounds. Donovan Mitchell, 25-plus points. It is normally a 193. We are boosting that up to plus 240. I already got my bet in with our friends at Tipico. Here's what you do, folks. If you have not signed up yet with our friends at Tipico, what you do, download the app, deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want, whatever tickles your fancy. You will get that money back when you win, but you will also get $100 in bonus bets. And you could use dude, you're telling me that you want to get some credits going for the playoffs?
Scan that little QR code. Let's make
right
some
there,
money.
Just do it right there. Do it on the QR code. You're sitting at work. You're sitting at home. You're catching us for the first time. First off, we appreciate you giving a few minutes in the morning to us here on the show. Scan it. Get in. $100 bonus bets. Big play 100. Deposit bet $25. And you can throw it down for our boost. I like it. Under Mitchell, Allen. Book it. Cavs tonight. Going to be a fun weekend of football. What's the one game you're looking forward to the most? Well, obviously, it's not the Browns-Bengals game. Is it the Bills-Dolphins? Is that it?
Yeah, it's got to be. That'll be the most exciting. It's prime time. I'm excited.
I'm jacked for tomorrow night. I want to watch the Colts-Texans game.
Yeah. So that's before. So
Steelers-Ravens is the afternoon game, and then you got Sunday or Saturday night Texans. So both those games are on ESPN.
So as soon as that Jags game ends, we'll know exactly who we're playing.
Yeah. And they're at the 1 o'clock slate with us.
Definitely Bills, Dolphins.
Yeah.
AFC East division on the line.
Yeah.
Just crazy to think about. Bills can win and maybe win the division, or they could lose and not make the playoffs.
Right. It's going to be a lot of fun. National championship game on Monday. We'll be back Monday morning. We're here every morning, 9 to 11. So we'll have a lot going into the national championship game. We'll get a parlay for Monday for that. Coming up later today on Big Play, we got Chico 12-2. Don't miss that on a Football Friday with him. We got big plays, big bets. Dave, Nick, Ted Ginn Jr. Is Ted in for his regular show today as well?
I think he's still in Florida.
All right, so there you go. So nonetheless, big play, big bets later. You had Drennan, you had Booby last night, which was great. If you missed that, go back.
I mean, there was so many funny moments there. Rafa Hernandez Brito, he got bullied by a French dude. He called out Daryl Ryder. He did say, I mean, it was the best episode yet.
All right, so there you go. Booby's World, all Cavs. Catch it on the Big Play channel, YouTube, Twitter. It's everywhere that you need. Big Play, big bets. And then on Monday, dude, what a day it's going to be. We're going to the national championship. Hanford back, Blake and Greg, of course, the Reflog show, Big Play Cleveland show, and our newest show, Enter the Jungle. Now, welcome. because we'd get sued by Guns N' Roses. But we enter the jungle. I almost said it again. Enter the jungle, our newest show. It's all Bengals Tuesday nights with James Rapine. Excited about that. Of course, bonus time with Bruce Drennan. We got it all for you, folks. Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel. I wonder how they feel about Will Howard.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
I was a little critical of the Buckeyes a little bit earlier, but it is what
that'll
it is.
be going on Twitter today. Don't worry. I'm in agreement. I think you made good points. I think you made good points.
Here's the thing. First off, you own everything you say on the air, and it should be reposted because I said what I said and I believe it. Folks, I'm all for Will Howard coming here to Ohio State. I am not going to get down on my knees and bow to the Ohio State Buckeyes and Ryan Day and all that kind of stuff. Sure, you got him. I'm not overly excited about it. That's fine. That's the decision that you made, and I'll fire up all the Ohio State fans in our Twitter inbox. Appreciate everybody joining us. Another fantastic week to kick off the year. We always appreciate the support and people joining us. I know we had a lot of new people joining us with the Reflog retweet there. So if you're catching us for the first time, drop us a follow. Matt Fontana Show, Twitter, YouTube, it's all there. And we're here every morning, 9 to 11.
Starting the bracket next week. You got to get it back.
We got to get the bracket back. We just did it because it was the short week. Time hop. All right, quick one. Time hop, one movie.
Okay, let's do it.
If
I go into my weekend without getting this, I just my whole weekend's going to be thrown off.
2006.
Okay, The Departed.
No, good guess. This revitalized one of the most historic film series ever made.
Okay.
It's one of the longest ever.
Mission Impossible?
Close. Very close.
Jason Bourne?
No.
Wait
a minute. It wasn't today.
Dude, you're throwing me off.
I know. Somebody tweeted it this morning that Casino Royale came out this day, and it didn't. I just Googled it.
It's a good movie.
It did not come out this day.
Maybe that's why we didn't do time hop.
Maybe that's why we didn't do time hop today. All right, nonetheless, we'll send people off on the weekend. Great stuff. Appreciate everybody joining us. Chico coming up at 12. Don't miss it. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. It's always just a little sweeter on Fridays. Take it easy.